What's up? Oh my God. Oh, that's a lot of fan. Yo, we back. And y'all can hear that fan blowing. Like, maybe that's better. Oh, that's better. I just need to turn down that. I need to turn off that mic. All right, here we go. Thanks for joining us tonight. Let's see what we could get into. We talk some shit about some different things. I'm gonna probably put something on in the background here for me to watch. I watched that Adam Sandler movie, that new joint on Netflix. That had his actual family in there, like his actual wife and daughters. That shit was pretty funny, right? You gotta hold on. I gotta get up. I gotta turn this fan down. So it's way too loud. Hold on, y'all stay with me. Let me know what you sipping on tonight if you here with me. All right. Let me know what you're sipping on. I see you. Oh. All right, here we go. My shit sometimes my shit just feel like it don't want to cooperate. Oh, that fan better. It ain't nearly as cool as it was when that motherfucker on 3, but it is better. What's up, everybody? How you doing tonight? I just want to jump on here and, chit chat with everybody. See how everyone's doing? Ooh, wow, that's a little different, more than different than what I thought it was going to be. That is, let me know. That's Crown Royal today and Dr. Pepper, because it's my favorite drink. And I didn't think I put that much Crown, but I don't know, it's different. This is camera 2, straight ahead. Let me know how you like it look. And here's camera 1 over here. That's about 3 feet off to the left of camera 1, to my right. And it's a different lens and everything, but it's not too bad, huh? Let me know what y'all think. You might be thinking, Josh, why does your voice sound so sultry, deep, and raspy? Like maybe you smoke a pack of cigarettes every day for the last 20 plus years, which I don't. But I'm getting over a cold. Caught something like Tuesday? I got a new CPAP machine, and Gary, what up, my boy? Nah, not Crown Apple, Gary. That's what you're drinking, Gary. Get some taste, man. You don't drink flavorful, fruity liquor, man. Come on. But, that kind of fits who you are, Gary. So, they're up in Washington, what do they call Washington? The Apple State or something like that. But yeah, I got a new CPAP machine in, right? Because I'm a snorer. I was. When I dropped that 15 pounds, believe it or not, looking strong, on deployment, got home, and Nikki said I stopped snoring as much. I still snore a little, but she's like, it's not nearly as much as what I used to. So that's good, And then I was like, yay, that's outstanding. I'm going to go watch? Leftover from a camping trip. What are you doing at the camping trip, Gary? You feeding the Crown Royal apple for the kids? You're like, yeah, it's apple juice. You crazy. You wild. Yeah, so I still got that cough a little bit in there. What they call that, a wet cough, right? Man, so let's back up. Let me stay focused here. I got the CPAP machine. I got to try this bitch on, right? I tried it on. Got it to fit. It's working, right? It's like it's a nose joint only. So it goes over your nose and then goes around, and the tube goes on top of your head so you can move. I was like, all right, cool. And I put it on, read the instructions, but briefly, it's kind of like a really easy, user-friendly, as they call it, user-friendly, right? So I got it on, but I didn't turn the humidity up on the air, right? Because you can fill it with water. It has like a humidifier pop thing part with it. And I didn't turn. I think I turned it on warm air because I was like, well, why would I want the air to be necessarily cold? I guess, but if I have the humidifier, I turned it on number 2, but the air was warm. Well, that fucked me up. I fell asleep with it, but 3 hours later, I woke up, whole inside of my throat, like in the back of the throat, dry as fuck, right? Probably like might be like the worst feeling I've ever had waking up. And it had that itch, you know, when you're getting sick and it had that itch. I was like dying, right? So I go and I'm like hawking, like all them nasty noises. I'm sorry, right? Just really, really bad. And I was like, fuck, man, like that kind of made me feel like I'm gonna be sick. And sure as shit, the next day I'm on the ship. We running drills. It's the afternoon time. I'm just sneezing everywhere. Achoo, 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 achoo. Just like one of them, like everyone looking at you like, damn, are you gonna stop? And I'm like, no, I can't. And right then it was just sneezing. And I was like, you know what? It might just be the ship is dusty as fuck. The motherfuckers don't clean that shit, right? I ain't gonna say what ship it is from Missouri, but like it's just dirty, right? Dirty. And I'm like, oh, it's just allergies. Like, no big deal. Next day I wake up, fucking fucked up again. I'm like, yeah, nah, fuck that. I'm sick, right? And I've been feeling like that all week, right? It kind of peaked Thursday, Friday. It peaked, right? Well, Thursday it peaked. I got after it with the Zicam, took my little vitamin C drinks and everything and tried to beat it back. But then, you know, from the coughing and everything and sneezing and it left my voice. My voice was a little bit worse than this. It's still recovering though. Still a lot of mucus build up in there. It's not the most pleasant feeling. I'm feeling good now. I feel fine now. It's just during that time. I'm on Netflix. Gary, what are you watching tonight, Gary? Let me know what you're watching, man. Maybe I'll watch something with you. I'm on Netflix. I was gonna put on excuse me, Baki Hanma. I don't know. One of my listeners called me a weeb. I'm sorry. Let me make sure that's on. I want to listen to that. Right. And called me a weeb. I had to look up what a weeb was, right? I had to look up what a weeb was because I did not know. I've heard the word, but I was saying, what the fuck is a weeb? Right. And I looked it up and it was like someone who wants to be Japanese and all into that stuff and like heavy in that scene, right? And I was like, oh, okay, I understand fully now. But that's not me, but like my boy Charlie, shout out Charlie, he put me onto this Baki Hanma. I don't have audio on this right now. I don't know why. Let me see. Oh, maybe I need to turn her up. Turn her up. What is going on? What's going on? Gary, the wife's bullshit. You watching the wife's bullshit? Yeah. You gonna get in trouble talking like that. You senior chief now, but you ain't the captain. You better watch yourself, Gary. Annie gonna beat you. Oh, that should be good for a throw. What's going on here? Audio. Oh, I got noises from the. That didn't play nothing. What is going on? Something's wrong. I'm sorry, y'all. Sometimes I just be like, oh, there it is. I found some dumbass little noises on the Ecamm Live. I use Ecamm Live. Bada boom. That's funny. But I got those though here too on my Roadcaster pad. Can you not hear that? Oh, I can. Okay, I get it. Sometimes I'm still figuring things out, people. So, come on, why won't this jank play though? Netflix is funny sometimes. Sometimes I think like Netflix or some of these people like, nah, you can't do me while you doing something else. Gary says I'm a loser. Gary. So what? I'm gonna see if this get to play. Gary, when you got those coins coming in, my boy, huh? When those coins coming in, Gary, he's so Joe Navy. He had his own personal coin made up that looked exactly like him, right? In a postpartum, is it called no postpartum? Fucking what is it? Post death, post married? Not fuck. Posthumously, post like when they do out the awards, what do they call that? I don't even know. Unmute this tab, bro. I can't play it. It won't play. Y'all lucky I hit the silent note on that before I coughed. That was gross. Like coughing like that is just nasty. Like when you can hear it all in there. All right, well, that's not working. Let's move on to something else. Oh, there you go, Gary. Thank you. Posthumously. Yes, posthumous. I could visualize the word, but I couldn't say it. Thank you for writing it out so I could read it. Sometimes it's easier reading than trying to speak. Gary, how many more weeks you got before you out? I got 2. 2 more weeks. I was going somewhere. I was doing something. Mm-hmm. Do. That gave me a headache, man. Y'all see me coughing still? That cough was so hard I got a headache now. Oh my gosh. Oh man. I've been learning some real cool things. Oh, 4? Damn, man. I'm gonna see you out there, man. I hope we end up down under somewhere together, Gary. That'd be dope. That'd be dope. We'll talk offline. Oh, I got I coughed so hard and then like my sinus area right here. You know, you have like those sinus tracks through your face. That shit hurt now. Oh my goodness. Oh. Dun, 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 dun. And now I'm just surfing Reddit because that's my other favorite pastime right now. I think it's funny. Let me cut that. I don't know what is up with this Netflix though, for real. Like, I've gone on here before on Netflix and watched stuff, so I don't know what's happening. There's an Arnold Schwarzenegger documentary that's on Netflix that my sailor told me about. Like, this shit just not loading or what? Like, this is weird. He shattered his hand. What's up, bro? Play. See if something else works. Oh, The Witcher's cool. Oh, they got some Black Mirror episodes. Y'all want to watch that? What is sometimes when I see some of these movies on Netflix, I be just thinking to myself, like, what the fuck made Netflix think that that'd be a good one to get to watch? Oh, The Woman King. I haven't watched this one. I think this came out while I was on deployment, but I don't think it's gonna play either. It's playing. Is it playing? I can't hear shit though. What the fuck? No, this shit ain't playing. Netflix has figured me out. I don't know what they're doing. Right? But they figured me out. I cannot do a live show. I can't do a live show on watching something on Netflix because it won't let me. Ooh. Let's get on this Navy Reddit right here. I didn't renew my subscription to the USNI, so I haven't been able to do no articles on that. Underage drinking in the barracks. That's funny. Underage drinking. Oh, here's a good one. I was going to try not to get into this topic today, but this is funny. It's a long one too, so I didn't even. I just pulled it up. Gary, how's your guys' season going, bro? Excuse me. This guy says, Chief season misguidance. Is it just me, or is Chief initiation just off the rocker? This has 186 upvotes from 14 hours ago. Way back, picking up was a toss in the water and having a beer as a celebration. This is funny. Way back, picking up was a toss in the water and having a beer as a celebration. That's actually good fun, unless you can't swim, I guess. Then after the wars, we got bored along the way, and they started doing ridiculous things to selectees, like writing horrible garbage in their charge books, making them do push-ups and dog shit, because an all-stop to season in 2015, I believe. No, that's well, it might have been 2015 also, but then it was after that. It was like 2020, I think. So, check your facts there. Among many other meaningless things, while trying to pin some ridiculous metaphor to it. Meanwhile, shops are undermanned, unmanaged, and even when initiates are there, their minds are elsewhere, not on task. Now, depending on the job, having a member without their head in the game can make a mess of things, especially when they're sleep deprived from being pushed on numerous tasks. The PT, fine. The training, actual training, fine. And those can be done after working hours or during lunch and even select weekends if need be. There's someone that doesn't know what they're talking about. Having guest speakers from high-level leadership to speak on the importance of humility and how things are significantly different that when the selectee was an E6 and below, and how the actions of your sailors can significantly impact your position now. Guest speakers need to talk on that. Stupid egg divisions, PQS loaded with nonsensical tasks, wild goose chases. What are we gaining from that? Oh, you just got a text message from a select. It was funny. Not my select, just a homeboy. What are we getting from that? Hearing Chief Select say garbage like most highly exalted chief respectfully requests to enter your hallowed halls or something along those lines is not productive. What are we? 5? We don't bow in America. There's nothing humble or supportive about it. I honestly think it's a game like these that make people feel like they're special and untouchable. Those with ego issues get a rise out of it. They think that because it happened to them, they can do it to others. And if you don't play the games, you're an E7. A lot of talk like that going on around on different things. Not all chiefs are good and not all are bad. I truly believe that you were a horrible person as an E6. You're going to continue to be one as a chief. But maybe there are unicorns out there. That unicorn, I guess, they're referring to are the E6s that were pieces of shit that all of a sudden, because they wear anchors, are great humans now. Something I just talked about to our selects, right? Like, they are who they are. They're not all of a sudden becoming fucking, again, maybe there's a unicorn and maybe some people change, some don't. Most don't, right? You are who you are. If E6s have not learned how to lead by now, what makes you think 6 weeks of shenanigans are going to change that? Hell, I see E5s and E6s lead divisions, maintain Divo folders, and have good working relationships with their personnel and network with their peers to get their tasks accomplished efficiently the same way chiefs can. Yes. And if they're doing that as a first class or E5 and doing better as a first class, then they'll be chiefs and they'll be good chiefs. But if they're doing that as a first class, then why can't they do it during chief select season? That's the question, right? That's a question, right? So just pin that one up there for y'all to think about. The only difference is their pay grades being low enough to the point that it's difficult to bridge the gap between command level and lower middle enlisted. That's where chiefs come in. You can still keep your brotherhood and you can still network and still change at a command level. So why add all the added activities to the season? At one point, years ago, the CNO had to step in and say, fix it, or I'm shutting it off. I see SGTs in the Marine Corps, sergeants in the Marine Corps pull more weight than our E6s. I see staff sergeant E6s, staff NCOs, have more clout than chiefs. If you have to go see Gunny, you better be wearing diapers, and don't even get me started with master sergeant or master guns. There's rift in the Navy between E6 and below and the chief ranks. I say get rid of all the additional items and put the added time towards leadership training. As chiefs, you already know your E6s and their capabilities. You already gave them high marks on their evals that led them to be chosen by the board. You want trust from your sailors? Eat with them in the mess hall. Shut the fuck up. I think that's one of the fucking stupidest fucking things that people try to fucking throw out there. I honestly do. And it's not because I have a great fucking small ass little table of 12 to eat at. Like, frequently engage with them at work. If things are gloomy because of mission requirements, you better be in the trenches with them to be that beacon. Embrace the suck together. Okay, rant and soapbox over. Downvotes in 3, 2, 1. Whatever this person talks about, their re-enlistment didn't get done because of a select that was going through the season. Re-enlistment paperwork can be backdated, and career counselor being there isn't a necessity. It's like just a bunch of. I think a lot of these posts are like a bunch of like, on one side, junior sailors bitching, or old retirees bitching, or people that haven't done it at all bitching. You know? I don't know. I'm like over everyone. I'm reading it. I used to volunteer as a mentor at Heritage Weeks. I was selected for CPO in 2007. It was very different than today, but I was also picked to go to the Constitution for a week. I agree I learned more than a week in that week about leadership than the other 7 combined. It's where I learned how to lead and not yell at people into compliance. Well, I mean, like, if you didn't know that as an E6 before you went to Constitution Week as a select, I'd question why the fuck were you selected, right? Probably because of a lot of other things, I'm sure, right there, Haas? But, like, come on, man. And maybe that's, like, in today's world, like, there's so many more, you learn so quicker and so much faster with information being so readily available, like, that everyone should know that as, like, an E5. As far as practicing it, maybe not. They're different learning styles even. That... Yeah, like, so this has got to be an old guy retired, right? Like, that there are different learning styles even. Yeah, again, like, who fucking doesn't know that today, right? Any E5 should know that there's different leadership styles, that there's different learning styles, or learning styles, right? Like that's not something you should have to go there and fucking talk about, right? My last season was a waterfront CMC of 12 ships that typically folded in with our OpCon ISIC, like not even our normal AdCon. Yeah, so this guy later then became CMC. I took about 10 minutes of their first CMC planning meeting for me to completely detach from them and form our own waterfront initiation. There was simply no way the people that use us for mission only were going to control my selects too. It was like letting the customer run the dealership, and they thought base inclusion was more important than warfighting, which is what my sailors were there to do. We weren't on shore duty. Their priorities were ludicrous. I burned a lot of bridges on that one. Would do it again in a heartbeat. I burned a lot of bridges on that one. Would do it again in a heartbeat. I just believed we were making in-rating leaders, not coffee breakfasts for staff NCOs. Fuck out of here. That's like, I don't know. That's weird. Like, it's funny how he ended it, but like, yeah, we were making in-rating leaders, not coffee breakfasts for staff NCOs. Like, if you're in the Navy, the Navy doesn't use terms like NCOs, right? We really don't. So unless he was like a fucking a corpsman that was stationed a lot with Marines, and he was at a Marine command or close to it, then that's why I would say he'd use NCOs, but kind of doesn't really add up there. I agree. I learned more in that week than about leadership than others. Serious question, not a troll. Why is that? What does season do differently? Why isn't leadership taught well before this stage? Here's my problem with it all, right? I tell people this shit all the time. I don't care. People think, we were talking about this the other day, right? Hey, Chris, what up, bro? This rant sounds like people who don't pay attention to those good leaders. Yes. Put that up on the chat there. My thing is like, one of the chiefs, and he's not wrong, but I think it was just like a little out of date, kind of, right? And hear me out. Like, for a certain period of time, and it's still said today, like the junior sailors coming in, and they're smarter than us. They have degrees, and they're just so much smarter than us, right? And I was talking to someone else, and I said, I don't think that's necessarily true right now today. I think in that period of like 08 to 16-ish, maybe a little bit earlier, 13-ish, like when that recession hit, and there were a lot of fucking kids that were college educated with no job looking for somewhere to go and nothing to do, and that came into the military then, right? I think that group, which is a little junior than me, but many probably have made chief or gone to the wardroom or something, right? If they had those degrees. They're the ones that really should be in leadership positions now, anywhere from like I said, 07, 08 to maybe 15, right? 7-8 years. So they've been in, 08 to now, motherfucking 15 years, right? So, like, they're putting on khakis, right? So they're not, like, they came in already a long time, 15 years ago, more educated. I think a lot of the adults coming in, I'm trying not to ever call them kids, right? Coming in now, it's not that some are more educated than us, right? If you listen to one of the most recent ones, my boy Jace, owner of Maximum Effort Coffee Company, shout out, right? He came in with a degree back in motherfucking, like, what did he say, 2000 or some shit, right? So, like, people have always come in with degrees. There's my daughter. What do you want? What do you want, Penelope? Stay right there. Stay right there. Don't come over here. What do you want? Then get the remote and put on another movie. Close your eyes and go to sleep. This girl, I swear to you. She had soccer today. Didn't really play the game. She didn't feel up to it. Ran around, though, for a good hour and a half out there. Ran around in here in the house. Been playing all damn day. It's 9 at night, and she's talking about the movie's over. I want another movie. You're like, oh, my God. The girl don't sleep, I tell you. Anyways, as I was saying. Excuse me. Right? So, those that big era of, like, they come in more educated than us, they're here already established. They're the leaders, right? And that's not to say that there are not educated people enlisting right now today, right? But I think it's kind of shifted a little bit, right? A lot of the junior sailors that are on my ship, a lot of them aren't necessarily educated. Some of them have some life experience, but you can see the shift. Like a lot of them, especially sonar techs, they're like, I'm getting out and I'm getting a blue collar union job, right? Like that's what they went and did, right? There's several now that have gotten out and they're doing that. They're like, I want to get out, I want to join a union. I want to get out, I want to join a union. Like, so there's been a mentality shift in like the generations. So I don't think we as leaders can really sit back and like try to tell the same story of like, you know, the junior sailor coming in today is so much more educated than you. It's not that they're more educated than us, right? Because there's plenty of us that are very well educated. Not me, right? But plenty that are. It's just that they're more informed, right? Sure, the internet's been around a long time, okay? But the access, right, and the capabilities that people have to access the information, right? It's not just like one small port into the internet fucking, you know, area. It's several ports. It's several tabs opened up consuming all of the data of whatever they want, right? So it's like that it's somewhat education, but it's just an information like overload that a junior sailor, an adult coming in has, right? So much more experience that they can learn through YouTube videos or reading books or audio books or this or that even a college educated person in 2010 didn't have, right? That's what we're talking about. That, at least to me, right? So I think we can't just like rest on this like, oh, there's so much more smarter than us. Like, okay, some might be, but also like they're just very much more well informed, right? So it goes back to like that. They know about leadership styles. They don't know about learning styles. That's shit they've already known. And like, so it's like, I can skip those lessons unless my sailor gives me a signal of like, they don't know this. Right. And if they give me that signal, they don't know it, then okay, then we'll teach that quickly and move on. So, you know, it's just kind of like, it don't make sense really. Right. Like to me, at least. So we're beating that drum. I think we're behind a generation of sailor. Right. So we need to be talking about like some sailors are more educated. Yeah. But many of us are very well educated. Right. We come from the sailor generation, the military generation of go to college, get your degree, right. Online, go to school. Right. We come from that. So I think it kind of balances out. It could be one of those, if you look at statistics numbers, like there are more sailors now percentage wise joining that have some college than 2010. Okay. But what is some college? Like, 1 class, 2 class? Do I hear a kid? No, I don't. I don't hear a kid. Right. Compared to 2010, sure, but it's like, you feel me? So I think they're just very much more informed, right? Than anything. So when it says like, what does season do differently? Why is the leadership taught well before this stage? Leadership is taught well before that stage. It just depends on who your fucking chief is and how they're teaching it. And I think there's some carryover of people in this age group, my age group, right? Plus or let's go -5, right? That are educated, right? Like again, my generation of sailor that is educated, that came in educated or got educated during their time, that are, you know, in khakis of some sort or not. And the ones that are not, the ones that are salty, or even the ones that are and not salty about it, they feel, being that we were directed that you must get this education, that leadership has to be applied through a formal like education, because that's how you got your fucking leadership degree from Nazarene University, right? Or National City College University, you know, applied leadership. I got it. Hold on. I'll be back. I got a kid. Hold on. We're back. Oh, man, sorry. I see we lost 2 viewers. I'm sorry. But when you're a solo dad at home for the night, because wife is working, then you got to take care of kids in between the live broadcast. But yeah, sailors are more well-informed. I'm not going to give them so much credit where it's like every new sailor that comes in is just fucking so much smarter and educated than us. Some are. Not all of them. There's still plenty out there from fucking, the podunk fucking city in the middle of fucking Nebraska coming in, right? Someone give an answer to that, though. What will season do differently? This same guy, CMC. I'll answer the best I can. In my opinion, leadership is the ability to influence people. Yes, we know that, right? That's like a definition answer. That's it. There's no rank involved. And Chiefs, if your sailors change how they act when you walk into space, you're not it. But maybe you are. Maybe they know that they got to get some act right. Does that mean so? Then you'd counter with, yeah, but if you're really that dude, then they would have been doing the right thing all the time. Yes, except that sailors are going to be sailors. And when no one's looking, sometimes they're going to fucking act up. And then when daddy walks in or mama walks in, they're going to get right. Just like fucking children. Like, they're not children, but that's how they fucking are. Like, whatever. That's not what I meant by Joe Campa deck plate. That is what was meant by Joe Campa and deck plate leadership. Then Joe... he one line got caught with his wine one, suddenly retired, and that got turned into a slogan for T-shirts. I didn't know that. This guy is saying that Joe Campa got caught with his wine one? Breaking news, Joe Campa was caught with his wine one? Yo, someone dig into that. Let me know. I never heard of that. That's... strange, because this guy said he made chief in 2007. And when was Joe Campa was right around Joe Campa McPon years. Oh, come on, Chief. Why don't you know? Let's see. Make sure we get it right. Campa, so that's 2. Yeah, it had to be right around that, right? Yeah, in July 2006. He took over as McBond. He was from June 2003 to February 2005. He served as Frank Cable, CMC, home port in Guam. He was in command master of Joint Task Force Guantanamo Bay. He was sworn in as McBond 11 in July 2006. So this dude put on chief right after Joe Campa became McBond. So maybe he do know. Interesting. Now take away career PO2s, call permanent PO1s failures. They're anything but. He's in there anything but failures. Divisional LPO is the hardest job in the Navy, and literally everyone hates you. It's not an easy job, and I think if you're doing it right, they hate you. And you set other measurements in place besides, actual job performance. This is what you get. But to this topic, on the Constitution, I had a guy come up to me in plain clothes after hours, introduced him by his first name, and he told me essentially that he recognized my name from the board because he's on my panel. He didn't tell me what the votes were, but the contention against me was I was green and young, and I had been court-martialed. True story. Barely over the 5-year reduction in score requirement. Okay. Then he told me why the board selected me. It's because they looked at all the other stuff, the advanced quals, my people constantly getting my quals and capped and awards, and they said whatever gal is doing is fucking working, and they're a good person to try with more accountability. The board selects you, the person, to have the judgment and experience to accept more responsibility and accountability. Or that's responsibility, accountability, authority, RAA, right? I was a CMC with 18 years in and 4 red hash marks, and I sleep at night. I can sleep at night because I never tried to be someone else, especially an ego tripper. Chiefs today aren't esteemed anymore. You have to do esteemable acts, and you don't get to call yourselves that either. To me, being a chief means if you really trust your sailors, which means they really trust you, you better be immediately willing to slam your anchor down on the table in your sailor's defense. Anyone has a problem with yours, then they go through you, including the CNO if need be. And you better be right, or you're truly fucked. That is Ask the Chief. That is institutional expertise, and it's supposed to be you. Whatever. Fucking. I mean, cool. Go ahead, dude. But, like, you didn't answer the fucking question. What does season do differently? All you fucking answered was a fucking exchange at the Constitution that you had with some dude that fucking told you why he thought, the same reason why we fucking tell selects today why they got fucking chosen, to be quite frank and honest. So from 2007, when you put on to 2000 fucking now, it hasn't fucking changed. Right? Except we really don't know why the board selected you, but this is what we tell people, right? Because we can't tell you why. If we can't tell someone why they weren't selected, we can't tell you why you were selected. Except probably these things, because they're similar to what I had and I got selected. Right? Like think about it. Don't that make sense? So that's whatever. I just don't like this dude. It don't really make sense. Like, he didn't answer the fucking question. What's different about the Chiefs season, right? It's bullshit. There's no magic Chief juice. You also don't need to go to a non-Navy town like Boston for examples of good leadership. That's funny. Why isn't leadership taught well before the stage? Leadership is a module 1.0 in the curriculum. That might be a new thing, but it is now the first thing that is covered. This is why I really wish I had picked up this season. My command senior enlisted leader is a really awesome dude who questions the fuck out of everything, especially a lot of the bullshit from his fellow mess. I don't know where I'll be or who I'll be serving with when the time comes for me, but I hope that they're at least half as realistic and humble as my senior chief is now. I look forward to developing that camaraderie within the mass, but now at the expense of my sanity. Cool. I know it's boring. Hear me out. These are the best ones, right? Replace Chief season with legit senior NCO course. We're not NCOs. Like, we're equivalent to an NCO, but we don't call ourselves NCOs. So again, it's one of those, like, anytime I see a Navy person, a Navy sailor saying NCOs, I immediately discredit, because they're just taking it from the Marines. And since the Marines do it, they must be better. They must do it better, which some would argue they do. Then when you go back to the other one, it's the fucking sergeants and staff sergeants, and be damned if you got to go see the gunny. Well, absolutely, that's the way it should be here, right? But we've broken those walls down to make the chief more accessible, right? Because once upon a time, you didn't see your fucking chief, and you had a diaper on when you had to go see the fucking chief, right? That was damn near me. I didn't have a diaper. I had a pull up on at least. If I had to go fucking see Chief about something, Chief Brown, I didn't want to fucking go see his ass for nothing. So I went to my E5. My E5 couldn't handle it. I went to my they take me to the first class, to the LPO. And then it stopped right there. So you tell me what changed in that. The Navy changed it because the Navy wanted the chief to be more accessible. Because sailors complained about, Chief's not there with us. Chief's not there with us. You think Marines fucking complain about gunny not being there for them? Right? Now you're gonna be like, the gunny's always with their fucking Marine in the trenches. That's if they're like grunts, okay? There's plenty of Marines that pogue ass motherfuckers, okay? If you don't know what pogue is, look it up, right? So, explain that. Come on, man. Stop comparing our shit to other people's shit. I was like, why can't we just be like the Air Force? If you're going to pick someone, pick the Air Force, right? At least maybe we'll get golf courses with the fucking class that you got to go to. It's fucking dumb. Ugh. Oh, intellect, yeah. I think that I don't like the way this is going, right? They have this already. Look up NLEC, Navy Leadership and Ethics Center, and the Senior Enlisted Academy for CPOs and Senior Chiefs. A lot of the SEA has been formatted into the FLDC, ILDC, and ALDC. Those are the leadership development courses. And now the CPO leadership development course training, they're quickly becoming requirements for advancements to replace the PO NDOC of the past. Yes, that's true. Like, all that stuff is becoming a requirement. I'm going to have to go and do these 1 week, 2 week in class before I could be selected for senior chief. And here's my question. When you do those, how much new things do you learn? Right? Or is it just a different spin or twist? Or is it just someone who's smarter and better with words and put it in a book? But you sit there and you kind of go, oh, yeah. Sure, I didn't know the scientific word for that, but I call it putting my boot to their ass. If it wasn't necessary, then it wouldn't happen. I'm about done here just because this shit pisses me off. Yeah, it's headed that way. There is still a week-long mandatory classroom-based training that has to happen during the 6 weeks. Yeah, right? And again, it's not like laying the keel is horrible or that's really bad. I'll tell you, it's hard to do when you're at sea or even in the building where I'm at, where you can't fucking get computers to work or fucking download the videos or anything like that fucking have to be played. So you're half-ass going through a fucking, death by PowerPoint shit, right? Facilitating a discussion and you're like, so we're supposed to talk about the video that's supposed to play, but actually we can't get it to download in this fucking place because nothing works here. So go fucking try that one on for size. Oh, man. Again, in my own opinion, that don't matter to nobody, right? Although this shit ain't bad, like these courses, I'm not saying you shouldn't have them. I'm just saying, like, they're probably, to me, this, like, it's not that helpful or it's not shit that we shouldn't be. If it's me, I can train to that without a week-long, 2 week-long course to get rid of my sailor that I need working. You know? Here it is, right? My favorite part was in the academy. It was the academy this year, too, when they say, we shouldn't continue to do things just because we've always done it that way. We need to innovate. Then when season gets questioned, it's hardliners say it's tradition. No, it isn't. Two of my favorite CMCs, real war fighters with combat awards, told the new class this whole thing is misguided and needs to be a real brick and mortar school like the other branches. One even said, they tell you every season is different. Then how the hell are we judging the effectiveness? Because you're high if you think Big Navy can. I'm on board with McPawn. All the CPO pride events, stickers, and merchandise do not exactly exude the consummate professional that CPO is expected to be. I love his term, counterfeit behavior, because that's exactly what it is. As far as the juniors eat first, I'm 100% fan of that, and that's why I'm very glad I stay with Marines and not the Blue Water Navy. I eat with my sailors and Marines. Man, like, everyone fucking just get in them galley and just go fucking eat. Well, I do agree with some of the sentiment. I do think there's something our sister services are failing to capture that the Navy does better than others. The message is actually more of a community. Blah. I won't agree with any of this shit, really, right? Like, I don't agree that we need to go to a brick and mortar school. It's not going to fucking, again, it's like, this is my generation of Navy that is saying this more and more and more. Why? Because it's my generation of Navy that was pushed to go to college, right? And told to get these degrees. And we think that's the only way we can learn. If you look at the next generation, yeah, some are calling for it, but of all these people in here on Reddit asking for it, are they all like? I'd like to see like what's the breakout here? What's the statistics breakout here? Right, of everyone who, like, raise your hand if you think that chief season should go away and it should be a brick and mortar school for 2 weeks. And of those that said raise their hand and say yes, how many of you are college educated? And if you have more college educated people saying yes, we should do it that way, then it just kind of sends me to that like, oh, okay, so you think the only way you could get an education is by going and sitting down in class. This is like some very, very like basic, I don't like to get into politics, but like very basic political like lines here, right? Of your like liberal, very blue, far left Democrat versus your very red, very conservative, far right conservative, right? On the left, you think the only way you can fucking get a good job that pays worth of shit and make a decent living is if you have a college education. And on the far right, you have it the other way where it's like, no, you should be able to work as a plumber, as an electrician, fucking join a union or don't join, but you should be able to do anything, a blue collar job and still afford a life. This is what like the Navy is coming to, right? Is that you should only be able to be a chief if you have an education. And then another side that says, no, you should be able to be a chief no matter what your education, right? You should be able to be a leader. Like, the most educated people aren't always the greatest leaders. Okay, like, oh, this guy says Navy Devil Doc. It's time to toss it. I think each make pawn is slowly pushing it towards the inevitable end, but there will be a massive relief if they just did it all at once. I think the rates are no more video from a few years ago. The Navy needs to take the boiling frog approach, just slowly winding it down. Oh yeah, so the boiling frog, like, put the frog in the water, it's comfortable, put the heat on low, and then it's just gonna stay there because it adjusts to the temperature little by little. And that's what a lot of chiefs like, right? And we're doing it to ourselves because, again, I go back to it's us that got educated that think that's the only way we can fucking learn now and that we must do it to the next people instead of like advancing ourselves to understand like what is the next generation learning? What are they doing? What are they liking? How do they consume, right? Information, education. How do they do all that? It's not just a brick and mortar school anymore. What do I know? Right? What the fuck do I'm nobody. I don't know nothing. It needs to be replaced with a formal, professional, across the Navy structured program. Teach the admin programs a division department LCPO needs to know about. So again, oh my God. What are the admin programs that a chief needs to know about? That this class is going to teach you in 2 weeks. Again, it goes back to if you weren't learning that shit your whole time coming up, the fuck you doing? How to mentor not only junior sailors but junior officers as well. How do you teach someone how to mentor? Unless they have a mentor, like, again, how do I mentor? Because I had a mentor. Right? Standardized training modules, standardized schedules, etc. Because in the Navy our schedule's standardized, right? Fuck out of here. The freelancing needs to go down to a minimum. Sure, there can be command, region-specific stuff. Visit the Arizona Memorial, for example. But overall, everyone should have a general idea on what's being taught on day 28 of season. Let me ask you this. If you want to be so standardized, right? What does visiting the Arizona Memorial do, for example? You can read it in a book. You can read it. You watch YouTube videos. What do you need to visit it for? A fucking class field trip? And don't get me wrong. Anyone who knows me knows that is my probably my top 3 favorite places in the world, right? Is there in Pearl Harbor at the Arizona Memorial. Okay. So you just make it make sense. Well, because we care about sense of heritage, right? That's why it's important to visit if you're in the area. Get on, man. But sense of heritage doesn't apply when it comes to everything else, right? But overall, everyone should have a general idea of the training schedule and curriculum need to be out in the open. Nothing disinfects bullshit faster than sunshine. Trying to keep season this secretive ritual is just getting absurd. PO1s who are gunning for chief should already know what's ahead of them. Why would you not train the folks coming up the ladder to be ready for it? Cramming it all in a few weeks is not doing anyone any good. We do almost all other training in the Navy the same way. Why is making a chief settling this wild exception that is out in left field? You mentioned how the Marines have more clout. As a career FMF guy, I can tell you that's absolutely 100% true. How do you know you're 100% FMF guy? So when the fuck have you been on a ship? You can't, if you haven't done both, you can't speak to both. You mentioned how the Marines are more clout. As a career FMF guy, I can tell you that's absolutely 100% the truth. No, it's the truth. You think it's the truth because all you've been around is fucking gunnies, right? And all you've been around is Marines, with the exception of maybe what'd you do? Go to a hospital? Get the fuck out of here, man. You sound fucking stupid. 2 reasons. The Marines will absolutely blast your ass if you jump the chain. Second is those staff NCOs are highly proficient technical experts. All right, so now, once upon a time, again, the chiefs used to fuck you up if you went straight into them. I could not walk into my chief's office. The only reason I walked into my chief's office, where he sat with the Divo, was to grab their trash at the end of the day. And then guess what? That stopped because, well, why should I have to take out Chief's trash? He's a human too. He could take out his own fucking trash. You know what I mean? Make it make fucking sense at least, bro. This is stupid. They're expected to know more, and if they don't hold up, they get non-recommended. I agree with that. I think we should. I don't think we could change the eval system, but we need to be more truthful in reporting. Absolutely. The Navy won't even blink twice if you go ask the chief and bypass the PO2 and PO1 in your shop because it's been made like that. Stupid. We've been turned into that. So it's the sense of heritage, the tradition, right? Or it is a formality. You use chain of command. But we've beaten that out of our sailors and been like, no, we should always be able to ask the chief, right? Good t-shirt design. How are you going to ask the chief? How are you going to have it on a shirt and be like, it's a fucking household phrase, but then not be able to go ask the chief? So pick one. What do you want? Do you want to be the person that they could go ask all the time? Or do you not? You just sound stupid. It's literally one of the best favorite things to say. Yes, it is. Because, again, we want to be asked, right? If you can't give the answer, we want to be asked. But also, asking the PO1 or asking the PO2, asking your works in your soup, your LPO, sure, go to them first. But, again, you can't have it both ways, man. It's just dumb. I blink at least once. I'm like, did you? I mean, look at my sailor. He has no one to fucking ask but me. To your last paragraph, while the Marines do have perks of senior NCOs, different berthings, barracks, separate area in the chow hall, it is very normal to see them out and about in shops or leading platoons in the dirt. Something that, sadly, members of the Met seem to be doing less and less of. Shut up. How do you know? When was that time you were on a fucking ship? right? Were you part of a MU? Did you deploy on a ship? Last time I was on a fucking amphib, I didn't see no fucking HMCs with a MU on there. I saw a bunch of baby docs. When you talk about this is the OP, right? The original poster. Well, when you talk about the charge book, that reminds me. As I'm helping them build their vessels, they were talking amongst each other about having to number their pages in Greek alphabet, Roman numeral, and standard numbers. That's all pretty much said they're not doing that. They all pretty much said they're not doing that. The number normally. But I think they're doing a group decision to willfully disobey the rest of the meaningless part because it's their charge book and nobody else's. Makepon even said he threw his away because it was full of vulgar language and nothing useful. I know that's changed to be predictive writing now only. Where did the Makepon say this? I wonder, like this dude's saying a lot. A lot of people throwing out a lot of quotes out there. I'd like to see them. Let me know. Drop them. If you're a junior sailor and you're helping them build their charge book boxes, I would love to have a conversation with your CMC because that's absolute bullshit. Well, I think they turned to me because they knew I did decent work. I don't build them for them. They insist on building them as a team, but need guidance because woodworking is a handicraft that not all are good at. I let them use my tools. It's impressive watching them as a team. They almost form an assembly line. What set me off when I happened to walk by a mess and saw these guys lined up, and I heard in passing ridiculous when did God Almighty lick my boots request, that just made me really say to myself, wow, it's no wonder why they're so disconnected. I don't know. Maybe I'm cut from a different cloth. You're not fucking. Maybe I'm just cut from a different cloth. I joined the Navy later in life, and I'm older than most of the chiefs and selectees here, as I'm 41 years old. Yes, you're old. You're older than me, and you're salty about it. You're salty that you're 41-year-old, and it sounds like you're first class or something. And this is, look, straight up, this is my opinion about this dude, and you can call this shit to you, I don't care, right? Like, that's how a lot of older people act. They act fucking so high and mighty because they're so fucking long in the fucking wisdom category, right? Because they did so much before they joined the Navy. So why you here then? You're so smart. You got so much wisdom, but you weren't smart enough to keep your ass out of the fucking military like the fucking 18-year-old who had nothing else going on. Make it make sense to me. I don't know, right? You're not cut from a different cloth. There's plenty of you out there that are old as shit that joined late in life with a lot of fucking wisdom and experience and then decided to join. And you mad because someone outranks you that's younger than you. Ain't the first time I seen it or read it. Won't be the last. Oh. This one's funny. It's talking about how like the E5s and E6s get more done with Chief being gone. Oh man, this shit's. Anyways, I'm done here. I'm gonna finish this drink offline. In the civil, this is an OP again, right? Oh no, I gotta read this one. Having been a victim of the rights of the Fraternal Order of the Chiefs myself, I'll be one to say that their antics, their sophomoric games, and their 1950s antiquated my way or the highway style of management have no place in the 21st century. It certainly doesn't transfer over to the civilian circuit. 3 times I've watched retired chiefs come to work at my civilian employer, and 3 times I've seen them flounder and fail. That's because they have no method of motivating people other than the volume of their voice. It's unthinkable to them that someone who wasn't a part of their hollowed mess might have some good ideas of a different way to do things. This is why I think chieftain is eventually going to die. With each successive generation, the new slayers are more worldly and more skeptical. They can spot bullshit when they see it and call it out loudly. Yeah, okay. Again, I think you're salty. Like 1950s. We're not doing shit that's from the 1950s. Okay? And so many people isn't like my way or the highway. There's some still in there. And you know what? They're really old chiefs. They've been chiefs for a long time. They made chief a long time ago that fucking held on to that. All right? I'll tell you straight up. In the civilian world, nobody cares that you're a chief. It might help on a resume for some management and leadership bullets, and maybe in the GS worked for selected jobs, but the vast majority don't know or care. It's all about the degree, credential, job experience. Sure, right? But like the job experience, managerial experience, everything that you do at the khaki level, if you write the resume right, will translate over to, and then if backed up with the degree, to getting the better job. Right? Like... Oh, man. This is funny. I love when people like, no one fucking cares in the civilian world if you're a chief. I know. And no one here in the military world cares if you were once a civilian. Like, it can play both ways, right? Like, what are we doing? It's hot garbage. I know people tell me posting on Reddit not the best place or whatever, but I know MCPON and other high-ranking officials read this stuff, and they need access to unfiltered bullshit. And this is the place for it. This dude, he buck stops with this guy right here, right? Wish I could fill out that Navy-wide survey again and state specifically what I was hearing. Oh, man. Like I've said, it's fine they have their own clubhouse or whatever to hash things out, but get down in the dirt with your guys more often. So you're just mad at your chief that he's now down in the dirt with you? Like, what's your rate? What dirt are you getting into? It's strange. Navy mentality. Chiefs eat first. Marine Corps mentality. The junior troops eat first. Who knows? I reference USMC too much. Absolutely. Maybe that's the service I should have joined. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. And then you wouldn't have to worry about your gunny because you wouldn't even be allowed to fucking talk to him. Right? And you'd be bitching about your fucking E6. And they'd be the piece of shit that fucking you can't stand. Whatever. I'm done here for the night. I'm just on a drinking binge with a fucking Reddit. It's funny though. Because I think eventually, like, they are pushing it further and further away. Right? We're letting it happen. Navy's letting it happen. Every MCPON's pushing it a little bit more, trying to formalize it, trying to make it. And it's okay to make it better. But I don't think that's necessarily always what's going to. It's one of those, right? It's too far to one side, so you try to swing it back, and you push it too hard, it swings all the way back to the other side. Right? And you overcorrected. That's why I think they're trying to change it slowly to find out where it's good. And I think right now they should probably leave it alone because I think they're starting to push it over. Today, 1945, General MacArthur wanted his flag to fly on USS Missouri during the Japanese surrender ceremony, but tradition held that the flag of the senior naval officer on board was to be flown. Nimitz compromised. It was the only time that 2 5-star flags flew on the same mast. Fucking MacArthur. All right, hey, that's all, folks. Tune in next time. We'll catch you on the other side of it. Got 2 more weeks left, and before I get out of here, I'm gonna set some stuff up for you guys to watch while I'm gone, and just have a good night. Be safe out there. It's a crazy world. Hope y'all stay safe. For the Chiefs elects, have fun. Just kidding. Get some work done, motherfuckers. For those that didn't make it, get more work done than them. All right. And for the Chiefs, hey, go get some fucking work done. Let's get after it. We out.